Good evening, everyone. Welcome. It is Thursday night.
Sure is.
Yes. And we are here for another Next Level Gaming show. And it is the end of E3. So we get to,
It is.
It is. It ended today. Today was the last
End
day.
of today.
And
Yeah,
so,
it did.
Yep, so we're going to talk about it. And good evening, everyone. I am Mike Mullis.
And I'm Peter Huitink, aka HCK 360.
Now I'm Chris Williams, aka Fastback 6768.
You decided to blur your background now, too?
I didn't even know it was blurred.
Yeah.
Maybe it's this fan. It goes so fast.
I think it does it automatically.
Yeah, you got to click the little three, the more options down the right, and you can turn the blur off. We don't get to see your really cool posters and stuff in the background. We get to see Peter's TP.
Yeah. But you can't see the flags on it.
You
It's all
can
blurred out.
kinda. It's a little bit. If you move it
Is that where it says floats?
Yeah, we blurred the.
Yeah. So
Blur the flag.
next to like the little emoticons that you can do in Skype, which is the stupidest thing. If you click the little more options, three dots, the third thing down is blur my background, and you can unblur your background. If it doesn't work, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So so the Twitch chat viewer is not working. Let me install that real quick. Hopefully we don't have to do anything. Maybe we could just come on, baby.
Come on, baby. Let's give this chat.
What's up?
Oh, there we
What's
go.
up, Siberia?
There we go. We got some chat going on here. We got it
All
working.
right.
We're all good. Excellent. What is up, everybody? What's up, Siberia? What's up, Coop? I'm just knowing you're there because that's what Chris says.
Yeah.
So, how are you guys doing this week? How have you been faring through E3?
Well, I guess good. We survived. We're still alive.
Compared to others, right?
We weren't even there.
Compare with others, yeah.
I was gonna say we
We didn't have to slide. We didn't slit our wrists.
No, we did not.
We didn't run out of tissues.
No, we did not.
So we're good.
There we go. He unblurred his background. We can see that awesome. See,
Ooh.
that's what I'm talking about.
See? Halo.
He's got that awesome halo in the background. He's got that. If you turn your chair the other way, real quick. Spin your chair the other way. There we go. He's got the Mario Brothers on the wall and
The Halo. Little Halo figure. What's
Oh,
up right
yeah.
back there? Zelda. I got it. So I got a couple things going. I'm about to get my entertainment center, my custom desk going here pretty soon. So I'll be rearranging some stuff. So,
okay.
but it's all getting together soon.
Fantastic. Awesome. And now, even though we've got a big show going on, we have been still playing some games. Thanks in part to stuff like Xbox Game Pass, which we will be talking about tonight, gentlemen.
Just a little bit.
What's been going on in the world of gaming with you guys?
Let's see what I've been playing. Well, a little bit of Sea of Thieves, and today the delicious DLC for Forza Horizon came out. The Lego, whatever they're called, the Lego edition.
Oh, the Lego Challenge Racer or something like that.
Yeah,
Whatever it was.
whatever it was. Oh man, when they announced it, like, oh, it's gonna be Lego, I was like, seriously? I was so like bummed. But I played it, and it's like, oh yeah, it's really good. They should make a standalone
Well,
version.
so
Forza Motorsport Lego edition with the whole game as every car like that and stuff. That's just awesome.
Well, and see, I said, because we were talking about this during the conference. I said I trust Playground Games. Like after the Hot Wheels expansion, I had very good confidence that they were going to come up with something really good. And Lego is huge. I mean, Lego is really huge. So I'm glad that you like it. I'm going to be downloading it since you told me that it is actually available with the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which we will be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, and hit some Sea of Thieves, right? So that you can get your
some Sea of Thieves. I don't know if we even have my sales. I hope I do.
Well, supposedly they're coming in within 72 hours.
Yeah.
I need to get. Yeah, I need to get that.
You got to play. You got to play by Saturday.
Okay.
By Saturday. Yeah.
Well, Siberia, he's been messaging me in DM and been wanting to play. So
I'll play too.
I think you only have to play a little bit, right?
You only have to get into. You only have to get into the
create
adventure.
a solo sloop. You get on there, you raise your sail, and off you go, and you let it, sail for a little bit till you crash.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I haven't really gamed much at all. Had family over since the weekend, but I did get to play a little bit of Mario Odyssey with my daughter. We had it on TV, and so we were just going back and forth, taking turns.
Okay.
And she'll hand the controller to me when she gets to a part that she can't get past. So, but really enjoyed playing that game.
Still needs Dad's help, huh?
Yes. Yes. She was amazed when I got to the next stage, and she's like, "You did it!"
Nice. Very nice.
It's just. I know Nintendo frustrates people, especially as older gamers. But I really enjoyed playing some of those games with my daughters. So.
Well, and look, they made some big announcements too this week.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm gonna. So here's what we're gonna do. While we start getting in on talking about E3, I have grabbed as many E3 trailers as I possibly could, and we're just gonna run them while we talk, so people can see it. And if we come across something that we want to stop and talk about, we can. And just for my part, I finally got. Thank you to Chris, you for telling me to wait. Get that sweet Metro Exodus action.
Remember that Coop,
which entered Game Pass.
Listen to Fastback, he knows.
Yep.
Mustangs, not Camaros.
He's an insider.
See, all right, so I can take no sides in this, sir, because I have to say Coop's been hitting the streaming pretty good this past couple days. So yeah. I have to be nice to Coop. Coop is the man. Great
right.
Coop. So
I'll take all the hits for him. I'll do all the dirty work for you.
Nice. So yeah, playing some Metro Exodus, getting that started. I finally got a game that actually a second game that I can honestly say sounds phenomenal in headphone Atmos. You could turn it on in the options, and it definitely makes a difference. I was blown away by the spatial sound in that game. Oh my goodness. Especially when you're talking to somebody and you turn around and you can, with headphones, which has impressed me, between that and the spatial audio coming out of the PS4 with VR and stuff. That spatial audio that only has headphones, two speakers like going in at your ears, and I hear stuff behind me and like back left, and it's wild. I man, that stuff impresses me. So
yeah, it's amazing when these developers can do that. with their sound quality. So,
Absolutely.
just like Hellblade.
Yeah, Hellblade was amazing.
Yes.
So, all right. So, let's get right into it because we got a lot to talk about. So, we didn't get a chance to really watch EA play. And I did mean to grab it, and I'm going to grab it. We'll watch the trailer while we, at some point in the mix here. I meant to grab the Jedi Fallen Order trailer, and I'm going to do that now. But this was.
Yeah.
Damn it! I muted myself again. Does it? Oh, it's still the hotkey still works. Damn it! I gotta turn that hotkey off. Good God. So, anyway, EA decided not to have a full conference, so they're kind of going where Nintendo's going and doing the live stream instead. So I'm gonna grab the Jedi Fallen Order video while we're talking. But did you guys get a chance to at least see it?
Yes.
I don't think I did.
No.
Yeah, well, no.
I made sure that I didn't see it live, but I made sure I went back and watched the Jedi, the 15-minute.
That's what I'm gonna grab.
Gameplay.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, yeah, no, maybe I did. I saw that.
Damn it did it again. Respawn speaks for itself. Titanfall is just they're very good at what they do. Between between the Titanfall games. I mean, it just. All right, let me make sure. Okay, that no longer mutes me. I mean, it's just easy to understand where that game's coming from, and it's that story-driven single-player game that Star Wars has been needing for a while now. Everybody got their fill with Battlefront and Battlefront 2, but they really needed that kind of old school Jedi Knight, kind of game, Force Unleashed kind of game. And this is going to fill that so well. So I'm looking forward, very, very forward to it. I want, this is one that I actually may not wait until EA Access for. This is one that I probably am going to buy.
Yeah, after watching the gameplay, and I normally don't do this, but I pre-ordered the deluxe.
Did you?
Edition. Yeah.
Oh,
it was
wow.
60 something. There was no collector edition. If there was, I would have gotten it. I mean, it's Star Wars, big. I'm all about Star Wars. So, but I enjoyed the gameplay. I enjoyed the combat, the lightsaber mechanics. Typical, throw the lightsaber. But one of the things I thought that was great, where he used the force power to bring the stormtrooper to him, and then stabbed him right in the gut with the lightsaber. So there were some nice combat mechanics that are going to be fun.
Yes, there are. And
I thought and then just real quick, I thought the world looked great, and then of course, the main character, he's the actor from Gotham. He's the one that played the Joker. He played the Joker.
Yeah. I don't know his
And
name, but I know the character you're talking about.
Yeah. And then of course we saw Forrest Whitaker playing the character that he played in Rogue One and Rebels, Saul Guerrero.
Yes.
So yeah, it's good. And this is a Star Wars story that's canon. So it's not like the old days. You got all these different Star Wars, games and so on, and they really weren't canon. They were just kind of their own story, which doesn't mean they weren't fun, but
no. Well, it's funny because Knights of the Old Republic was really not canon, but people loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So, now Coop's saying people that were able to play it at E3 said the combat was difficult. So I don't know, was that a good difficult, a bad difficult? I didn't see. I have tried to keep myself away from Twitter and all the fence jumpers. I said what I had to say on Twitter, and people went nuts as usual. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll go away. So I
wonder if it's like Dark Souls difficult or,
I can't see.
I think somebody had mentioned something like that. Like it could be like a Star Wars, Dark Souls combat type.
I'm not sure I could see a Respawn doing that though. I mean, Respawn is a different developer style from software. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know that is something that they would do. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, true. Yeah, but this is their first full story-driven game, right? There's no multiplayer.
Yeah, but they did the story with Titanfall 2.
Yeah. And of course, some of the mechanics, like the wall, jumping and running across the wall sideways.
Where'd they get that from?
I don't know.
Who's that? Call of Duty with lightsabers, huh?
Yeah.
Call of Duty Titanfall with lightsabers.
Right. All right. That video is 75% done, so we'll come back to it. But I want to get started with we'll still, So other than that. And, Madden and FIFA. Madden has new. Madden has a new feature. FIFA Soccer has that new Volva Soccer, which I couldn't figure out what that was. But other than that, they didn't really show a whole ton of things that really kind of, Jedi Order is their big title. That's their big game. And and Battlefield 5 by the way, into the vault. So I still have my EA Access subscription, and now I get to play Battlefield 5. I hadn't played it yet.
It's cool.
How is the single player?
That's what I'm saying. It's cool.
Okay, sorry.
I haven't played the multiplayer.
Gotcha. All right.
Hear that, Coop?
Yeah.
Guess what time it is?
It's 6 minutes to 6 minutes to Mustang clock. You gotta get that timing belt, the timing chain fixed on.
It's perfectly timed. That's all I know.
It's perfectly timed to 9:54 or 8:54 in your time.
Yeah. I'm pretty bad about that because, my vehicles, when the time moves forward and back, whatever, I never change it. It drives my wife nuts.
You never change the clock in your car?
Nope.
Oh, that's funny.
I just leave it. I'm like, yeah, I know it's an hour ahead, or I know it's
nice.
Hopefully, one day we get rid of that shenanigans.
Yes, please.
That's right. You have a watch or you have a phone. Use that as your clock.
Yes.
Lord knows we use it as our GPS and everything else. So anyway, so EA didn't. I mean, that was it. That was their big Jedi Fallen Order is their big game.
Unless they're kind of like everybody else in a certain way, they're kind of gearing up for the next the next consoles that are coming out.
I
So
guess.
whatever else they have cooking up,
Yeah.
they're not ready to reveal them, because they're being played on and optimized for the new consoles. So when they do show them, that's how they're going to show them. So
Yeah.
who knows?
It's possible.
Yeah.
There were a couple of other small things that they did show. They were making another kind of push into the indie realm, kind of. They've got another game coming from the developer of Fee, which they did. And which a game I wasn't terribly, I don't know, I wasn't terribly into. But some people liked it, I guess.
And the guy from The Way Out is working on something
Right,
else.
he's got something else coming.
Yeah. Could be next year. Show it off.
Well, yeah, some of that stuff's 2020. So that's...
Yeah.
Well, no, Anthem, there was nothing on Anthem. I think Anthem is dead.
No, it wasn't shown there, but it was something that came out before, some DLC or whatever.
Well, they did a patch. They patched it.
Yeah.
They did patch it. So, but I mean, everything they were showing there was your base stuff. It was, Jedi Fallen Order, Apex. They did show more of Apex Legends, they had a new character and the season 2 stuff, because now every battle royale game is gonna have a season in it.
And Apex is still popular, so that's why it was there.
Yes, it is. It is popular. Mm-hmm. So, Sims 4, and then like I said, they had some, those little little indie games. All right, does it finish? Still at 97%. All right, so that was on Saturday. So then Sunday comes the meat of the buffet.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Oh, did it? Do I have to do the playlist again? No, I don't. Oops. So we start off at 4:00 with Microsoft, and Microsoft's conference was a much talked about conference afterwards. See, look, Chris is gone. He's done. We didn't even get started. He's done.
Yeah.
What just happened to Chris?
It's at Microsoft, and it's like,
Yeah.
he shows a CGI of him now.
Yeah. Damn. So, see, you can't hear him, but you can't hear these people, but oh, there you are. He's back. Okay. Woo. There he is.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. We were like, hey, and Microsoft conference, and then you were like, I'm out. I'm done. I'm done. Goodbye.
Yeah, that just represented some of the, people that went nuts on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's how they work. They just walked out the door.
So
They don't want to see games.
no. Well, all right. So I've got some opinions on this, and I've had some time to kind of stew on things from my initial reactions when we were doing the live show, and look, for it hasn't changed a lot, but I do understand some things, and we'll talk about it a little bit, but my take on it is, for the most part and overall, I didn't think it was a bad show. I don't think it's the best show they've ever had. I mean, they've definitely had better shows. This show had a lot of games to play, and they have pretty much doubled down on Game Pass, which is fine by me, because Game Pass has been my it really has been my mode of playing games now for some time. I don't get a chance to watch or to play a lot of games that I have to buy because I just don't have the money for it yet. So Game Pass has been phenomenal for me. And now, with the Game Pass Ultimate, and might play a PC game or two, small PC game or two that might be in there, and have in the way they did the combination when you upgrade, I'm good till 2021. So thanks to you, Peter, partially for helping me out there.
Yeah, I wish I could upgrade to Ultimate, but I'm at 45 months combined, or 44. Like, I'll lose 9 months.
Yeah.
So I'll just wait closer till
36 months?
September or so.
Yeah.
When the other benefit comes out, like if you have the Ultimate, you get to play Gears Ultimate.
Yes.
Yeah, very much so. Well, and we're gonna show these trailers throughout the show. So we're starting off. Of course, they did talk a little bit about Scarlet, which is coming next year. They said holiday 2020. And one of the things, they didn't really show anything other than everybody was kind of talking about what it means and things like that. But they did mention something pretty big, and that's having hardware ray tracing. Which Coop talked about ray tracing a bit, and how right now it's all in the software, but now they're putting it in the hardware. So that's pretty substantial. Phil went on later on to talk about at a couple of interviews and stuff. Talk about that. Right now, it seems like Scarlet's just going to be one console, so they're not going to do multiple SKUs. At least not right now.
Well, he also says consoles, plural, so who knows?
Well,
obviously they talk about their flagship.
Yeah,
he
keeps saying that everything that you have is going to move forward. So,
right.
So we'll, I everything on the Xbox One has to move forward. That's for sure. What else? Backward compatible wise, who knows? By the way, this was the creepiest trailer I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And
it was just a little bit.
Yeah, but
yeah.
But so the conference started hot. Ori Will o' the Wisps, and the Outer Worlds, which is coming to Game Pass day one, which is a huge announcement considering.
Yeah.
I was surprised that it opened with Outer Worlds. Remember we talked about that. We talked about what's going to open the show and then what's going to end, and Halo Infinite ended the show, but I was surprised Gears 5 didn't start the show. But I guess they're showing that hey, we are committed to the new studios. We are happy. We're excited for their games, and they're not just going to sit there and say it's all about our flagship franchises all the time. So that's just show of confidence in Outer Worlds.
Agreed. I do agree with that. And it's one of their games now. So I mean, yes, it's a multi-plat. Yes, it's coming out on the PlayStation 4 and the PC, but it is now their game. So
on Game Pass.
There's your
day one.
There's your differentiator. So
yes.
This is why look, bad guy Microsoft could easily say, you know what, we bought the rights to this game, we tear up the contract, this game's only coming out for the Xbox. They didn't do that. But they did say, well, you know what, we're going to put it in Game Pass day one. Because we can. And that, honestly, that is Game Pass is still the game changer. It was the game changer when it launched. It was the game changer when they talked about putting Microsoft games in it, and it's the game changer now with these new studios, because it's not just this. It's Wasteland 3 and it's Psychonauts. That's the other big news that came out of that conference. So the conference started hot. I think what happened is it it got to where people started to realize what they weren't going to see. And number one, for me, not having gameplay is not a big issue to me. I don't care about that because I know these games are coming. It's not like you're not going to see gameplay of Halo Infinite at some point. It's not like you're not going to see gameplay of Outer Wilds. It's not, any of that. What bothered me about not seeing gameplay was like here. So here we're looking at I think this is Gears 5's escape mode, the new mode that they've got.
Oh yeah.
Which is great. Okay. But people wanted to see the some campaign because that's what Gears is going to be known for. That's what the first 3 were known for. That's what 4 was known for.
But here's the thing. I mean, that's what we think that they're known for. But is that I mean, sure, maybe it's known for, but what most are, what things are played the most? Is everybody playing the campaign? See, Microsoft has the stats.
Yeah, I know.
But I think I agree for my personal stuff, and I like yourselves. It's like, yeah, I wanted to see the campaign gameplay, and what was it about?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to see actual gameplay, right?
But like Peter said, they made a choice to where I'm pretty sure majority of people when they go back to play Gears 4, they're playing horde mode, co-op, or they're playing multiplayer against each other. That's what the majority are playing. So they made a choice to show these multiplayer modes that are new to Gears 5 instead of showing the campaign because the campaign's going to come. I think people are used to Gears campaigns have always been pretty good, maybe except for the one that everybody was,
Oh, Judgment.
But yeah, but they, he did say, they're going to show more in July. I'm sure they're going to reveal the campaign and all that.
Well, they're going to reveal the campaign in August.
Was it August? I heard something about July, but
July they're going to do multiplayer.
Okay.
And then in August. Yeah, because the game launches in September.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's my issue is that we're 3 months out. It's okay to have this on the floor. It's okay to show it. You can show it. Look, at the Bethesda conference, they showed Doom's multiplayer and they showed a slice of the story. You don't have to show a whole mission. Just give us a slice of the story. Give us something,
Yeah, you're right. It seemed like when they look at the timing of the show, okay, this game is going to do this.
I gotta pause this, by the way, while we're talking about Gears. Still, I just got to pause this for a sec because we got to talk about this in a sec. But going back to Gears.
So it seemed like I said, they made a choice to say let's show these multiplayer modes. They're new and but then whenever they chose to allow, let's show more Cyberpunk. Let's show gameplay from Cyberpunk. That's the big game that's coming out, and that was a choice that they made instead of showing, more of Gears. So it's just one of those things. You got to see some Cyberpunk gameplay and a surprise celebrity in the game and come on the stage, and that was big. But we didn't see Gears campaign. So it's like, we're going to give you this, but we ain't going to give you everything. But here's this,
But okay. Right, and I hear you. But Cyberpunk's a multiplat.
I know. Yeah, no, I know. I agree.
That it just I would have been happy to see a little campaign. I needed to. That's because that's what I'm going to be playing. That's the part that interests me the most in Gears, and that's why I was. I wasn't mad. I mean, I was just disappointed. I'm hoping that that the campaign is good, and just not being able to see anything, especially after that trailer, that broken Kate trailer, that crazy trailer. It was just that was disappointing, and I think I'm gonna this is put the extreme console warrior kind of fanatics aside for a second, because we have some friends that are very reasonable gamers who also were disappointed in the conference because of what they didn't show. And I know that I think I know why. And I've been thinking about this and Nate and I were talking about this last night. You know, the hardcore Xbox folks, the ones who really, back Microsoft, and they were the ones cheering the loudest when the Initiative and Compulsion, and when Ninja Theory was announced, and they people went nuts because it's the Hellblade developer. People knew that it wasn't the big, these weren't big banger studios, In Exile and all those guys, but, and just follow me on this for a sec. The Xbox faithful, even the ones that we're friends with that we understand, they've been hit the last 3 years over the head with Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War. Now they got Death Stranding. Sony's got all these heavy hitter games that have been coming out the last 3 years or are coming out at the end of this year, and all they wanted was for Microsoft to at least show them the roadmap. We don't know what the Initiative's working on. We don't know what they're doing, and they could have shown.
But yeah. Look at it. They just hired like two not a bigs.
No, absolutely.
And it's like, how can you have stuff done if you still Well, to me, it seems like they're still hiring and creating the team. Sure, they probably work on some stuff. Who knows? It might be just prototyping ideas, and not even working on an actual game yet.
Well, even Coalition, when they were whatever that was before the Coalition, I forgot what they called themselves. They at least showed a concept trailer, and we all talked about, well, that concept trailer turned into Gears. I get that, but they at least showed something. And I think what the people were looking for, I think it's everybody knows the dirty little secret about Playground Games is that if they're not making Fable, Lord knows what they're making. But people wanted to see what at least
a battle royale.
Yeah, that's Ninja Theory's job right now. And I don't want to take anything away from Bleeding Edge because it just showed.
The more I saw of it,
well, I tell you,
that looked pretty solid.
GameSpot gave it best of E3.
Yeah, I was skeptical at first. I'm like, what's this? It looks kind of weird, crazy. But then when I saw some gameplay of it, it's like that looks pretty neat. Yeah. So that goes to show the talent and the quality that's coming from a good studio. Yeah. And that, look, I hear you. I hear these other people that we know there who have been big Xbox on they want something, right? They weren't into CDs and State of K2. I get it. I was, but I understand that some of these people were not. But last year, Xbox just announced picking up some of these studios, right?
Yeah.
And we have to be realistic here. Ninja Theory, the only reason why we're seeing the game that they showed was because they were already working on it.
Right, that's what they wanted to make.
And I think that was probably their next game was coming out, whether or not Xbox acquired them or not, somebody would have published them and they would have found a way. But I think with Xbox getting on board, it helped them kind of, okay, we're going to get it out and it's going to, have a little bit more, be able to hire more people and help. We've seen these studios are hiring people, bringing people on board. So obviously there are games being in work. I even mentioned too, I was hoping maybe we'll get a teaser for Coalition, Rare, we know Playground is working on something, they're still working on Forza 8.
Yep.
But to me, realistically, it's just too soon.
But
And those games, if they're new IP, it's safe. It's safe for Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo to sit there and tease. Yeah, here comes Zelda. Here comes the next Mario. Here comes the next Halo. You can tease that because those are safe games to tease. But to tease new IP way too soon, and then all of a sudden, 2 years later, it's not exactly what they teased you. Just got Scalebound and Crackdown 3.
Or they show something and it's like, hey, it's downgraded.
Yeah, and now we got to delay it. I mean, so I'm looking at that. Yes, at the same time, I was hoping to see something from them, right? A teaser, but we didn't get it. We kept hearing all these rumors and speculation that there's going to be 2 SKUs, and that didn't happen. That Fable 4 is probably going to be shown, and that didn't happen. But I will say this, because they did announce they're going to be at XO 19 in London, right? And they have 3 studios there. Who do they have there? They have Playground. They have Rare. Who's the other studio from over there? I was trying to think of that. So,
Remedy, but they're not, Well,
no, not Remedy. No, I'm talking about a first party. But
don't know.
Earlier, a few years back, whenever they said, "Oh, we got all these games, right? We had so many games. We can't show them all at E3." They saved some of the games that were at Gamescom, right? Because the studios that showed up at Gamescom, they were European studios over there. So don't be surprised if we don't see something from Rare and Playground at Gamescom.
We saw. Well, yeah, but so, I get that. The other issue is that, remember they talked about the initiative last E3. They talked about Compulsion and Ninja. Well, Ninja Theory's got a game coming, so I'm not. Let's take Ninja Theory out of there for a sec. But the initiative, they talked about the initiative last year, which tells me that if they've gone an entire year, and I know they're hiring people, if they've gone an entire year and they don't know what they're making yet, I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, they probably do.
Right. I don't see a reason to be concerned.
And you're on
whatever they're working on is in early development.
Sure.
Has to be.
But you're on the biggest stage. And by the way, none of your competitors are really here. Like Nintendo's got a booth, but they're not really here. They're doing a pre-recorded show. Sony took the year off. EA's not even competition, they're a third party. So you have got the stage to yourself. And I understand. So again, I understand that mentality from those folks who are disappointed because of that.
I get it too, but I don't think they should be such a downer about the whole thing. I mean,
no, it still was a good show.
Every E3, you don't get everything shown at every E3. Not even Sony. We know Sony's working on the next God of War, the next. I don't think we get another Uncharted, but I'm pretty sure they're working on something else, right? Why aren't they teasing that stuff? Why aren't they teasing some of their other studios? Because this stuff is not ready. I mean, these developers can't just, here, let's show them this, and what if it doesn't look good? You take a chance of getting criticism for that, and then when the game gets close out to be released and you show something, again, right, that's not what you showed us back then. So they have to be careful about showing stuff way too early. I mean, look what happened with Scalebound. They showed that early. They showed Crackdown 3 too early.
Well, but at least they kept Crackdown at least came out. I mean, Scalebound at least they showed it a couple of times. It was and they had like the year before they canceled it, for better or for worse. At least Hideki Kamiya came out and had a controller in his hand and actually showed gameplay. So I mean,
allegedly,
I
doubt it. I think that was just pretend.
But it was a game. But it was a vertical slice. It wasn't a CGI trailer, and but in this case, that's what I just think that in the cases where you needed to reassure your base that you were that dedicated to them, and maybe look, I said this the other day too. This isn't the same Microsoft that launched the original Xbox. This isn't the same Microsoft that their games were completely dedicated to the core. They want to make games for everybody. Everybody wants to make games for everybody. Now that's why you see this big mobile push.
Oh yeah,
You
my
know,
goodness.
By the way, the reason I stopped the movie here is because this was one of my fangirl scream like a schoolgirl announcements was the Phantasy Star Online 2. The fact that this game, which Phantasy Star Online sucked up so much of my youth on the Dreamcast and then on the Xbox. Just the fact that it's coming back, and it's going to be free to play and cross play with. It said cross play, but I don't know who with PC. I guess because it's coming to PC. And Microsoft snagged it. I'm impressed.
Yeah,
Because look,
amazing.
powered by Azure. Powered by Azure.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox, Phil and them have been out there working.
They have.
They've been out there in Japan. They've been visiting people all over.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, yes. I mean, I was like, because when they first showed that, somebody said, is that like Yakuza? And I saw the back of the suit there, and I said, you got to be kidding. It can't be. And then the more it started showing the trailer, like, oh my God, it's Phantasy Star Online. I marked out. That was one of the 2 times, Peter, that you missed me marking out like a fanboy again. The other time was, of course, when Microsoft Flight Simulator was announced, which tells you how dorky of a gamer I am. When the big announcements for me was an old Sega game and Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, and like, even I will say that I'm glad that Microsoft did end the conference with this. This is what they should have ended it with. I know Jeff doesn't agree with me that you shouldn't, end your conference with a third-party game, and I respectfully, disagree with him on that. But I know his, point about Cyberpunk. But this was a good trailer to end the conference on, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and Halo's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
I'm glad
it's gonna be launched with the new console. I mean, that's big. That's big. And if Halo Infinite shows very well next E3, that's gonna be good for the launching out.
Yeah, agreed.
I just think that I agree with you and some of the other guys who wanted to see more. They want to see gameplay. They want to be teased. What's Playground work? We know they're working on stuff, right? We know Rare's working on something else. It would have been nice, but I see it from both sides, and I'm like, you know what? I can be patient because, like you saw a couple games that got you excited, right? Mm-hmm. You're gonna be happy for a while. Game Pass is bringing you games. I just don't see I don't see no point in. We could be disappointed, but at the same time, we can be happy that we have more than enough games coming out. It doesn't matter if it's first or third. To me, I don't care. It just
no.
I'm going to be broken. I don't know if I have enough time to play all these games
before
they show me all the other games they're making.
Yeah, that's why I said conference roundup and thinning wallets, because I agree. Now I don't have to worry about it because Gears, Halo, Outer Worlds, Psychonauts, all those games coming to Game Pass. To Game Pass. So, and how big was that? So look, last year when Phil went through his litany list of studios that they purchased, right? And so he said, he talked about the initiative and everybody clapped. And he said, hey, we bought Undead Labs. You go, you know what? I can understand that. They make State of Decay. Okay. And then he said, we purchased Playground Games. You go, well, that was a given. And then
stupid if they wouldn't.
Right, exactly. And
then they get snacked up by something else. It's like, oh, what the?
Right. Then they're making PlayStation games, and then Phil loses Forza Horizon. And then they said, well, Compulsion Games. You go, huh, that's a little out of left field, but okay. And then when they said Ninja Theory,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember 4 or 5 of us on the panel, it was us and the inner circle, went, what? I mean, my reaction was just absolutely, what? You know, they bought the Hellblade developer, you know? And then I remembered, oh yeah, that's right, they made Kung Fu Chaos too. Which is what I was trying, which by the way was the point I was trying to make on Twitter with a couple of our friends that said, you know, Hellblade, you know, Ninja Theory is known for their single player story driven games. I'm like, well, yes, but they're also known for exactly the kind of game they're making now, Bleeding Edge, because the first game they made was Kung Fu Chaos. So they're not strangers to the multiplayer melee combat genre. So,
Yeah.
so you know, their guesses as to who Microsoft was buying next. I thought they might take a run at IO Interactive because the Hitman IP would be really nice to have. I heard a couple of people that had thought they might buy Relic Entertainment, which is a really good studio. And then all of a sudden, out comes Tim Schafer, and
Yeah.
you're like, wait a minute, did they buy Double Fine? And oh my God, that came out of nowhere. How did that not leak?
I've been hearing that they really kept a tight lip on stuff.
They did.
Like even with the Keanu Reeves, like Keanu Reeves said that he also worked hard to keep it a secret.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I mean, nobody even I never heard anything about that.
No, I didn't hear anything about it either.
I didn't hear anything about Double Fine either.
No.
But I don't think it rules out a couple of these others that are possibilities. Just like last year, they announced 2 of them at XO18.
No,
There's a possibility
absolutely,
they could
right.
do the same.
Yep.
You know, so
No, I just thought like Double Fine is not one that, because Double Fine was really, they really were
the Monkey Punch.
they really were partnering with Sony for a lot of you know, Grim Fandango and some of those remakes, which maybe now come to the Xbox. Who knows? But I just never in a million years thought that they would become a Microsoft studio. And while it was, you know, obviously it's tongue in cheek and comical, it was really funny. Tim Schafer made a number of videos on Double Fine's page, and it was funny. He was like, you know, we were wondering what to do next, and Microsoft came to us and said, what if we gave you a bunch of money? And I said, well, okay. So if you hadn't had a chance to watch those videos that Tim Schafer and his guys put out, they're hilarious. I mean, they really are. So, and by the way, this game right here, we were going, hey, is this, you know, like Alan Wake? Is this something, you know, because it looks a little Alan Wake-ish. So this game is also, it's not a new IP, but it's a game coming out for Xbox and PC, and I believe that it's going to be in Game Pass. As soon as I saw that and the guy in the corner, I'm like, hey, this looks like Blair Witch Project, and sure enough, it's Blair Witch. So this looks like a cool little game.
And I said that jokingly too.
Yeah. And, well, you said it was like You said, "Oh, is this Outlast 3?" And I saw that.
Said,
I'm like, hey,
I said Blair Witch. So I think Anchor and one of the other guys. But I said it jokingly. Oh, it's Blair Witch.
And no, it really is. So it's coming out soon. So, so you know, these were there were some great announcements. If you love games, I this is the way I framed it. If you're emotionally invested in a company, then yeah, I could see you being disappointed. I can see you being despaired. But if you're emotionally invested in games, then I don't know how you couldn't find anything in this conference that you liked, because I liked a lot of what I saw. This game looks crazy. The Outer Worlds. And again, it's coming to Game Pass, day and date. Where,
And has story,
yeah,
single player.
single player.
Right. So is Wastelands 3, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I don't know enough about Wastelands 3.
Yeah, me neither.
However, I don't know if you guys heard this, but InXile did announce that they are remastering or remaking the first one, which was a real retro, old school, overhead kind of RTS-y kind of game. And it was originally just PC, but now they're going to they're going to bring it to Xbox as well.
Oh, cool.
So, folks are going to get a chance to look at the original Wasteland. So now, Wasteland 3, it looks cool. I don't know if it's my kind of game or not. We'll see.
But it's in Game Pass. And
I'll get a chance to try it.
If it's in Game Pass, I mean,
No, right? How do you not?
then that's like awesome. You know, you can try like new games or games that you think like, not sure. You know, you wouldn't have paid like 60 or 30 or whatever.
Yeah.
For it, but now at least you can try them out, and that's
definitely
fantastic.
Yeah. But this game looks so cool right here.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Fallout in space.
Yeah.
A little bit. So it's got a vibe of that.
Well, now a little bit Duke Nukem with the
A
string
little
gun.
Duke
and stuff.
Nukem, yep. And maybe a little
Yeah.
bit of We Happy Few with the cyber punkish kind of look.
Yeah.
So now this is a game that I would have hoped would have at least tried to come to Xbox, Age of Empires.
Yeah.
You know, but now that I've got Ultimate, I can play it.
Yeah.
So,
But I remember when this was announced, they were working on this at Gamescom.
yeah.
Was it last year or the year before? They did announce that this was coming out, and then also, you know, the Age of Empire 4 was in work.
Yep.
I mean, games like this, it doesn't surprise me that it's PC only. I mean, these games are known for, they're PC games. I mean, we're capable of playing RTSs on the console, but
Well, especially at first I thought like, it makes sense because of controllers and stuff. But now that keyboard and mouse are supported,
true.
it's, maybe
nice
that
if
could
they
be a
did it.
requirement for the game. It's like, hey, keyboard and mouse required.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be nice if they did throw it in and we can all try it. But I mean, it doesn't. It's not a killer for me.
Here's Wasteland.
Okay.
Here's Wasteland 3.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
And some humor.
Oh yeah.
The drunk Santa Claus. Look.
Hey, look at that bulls.
Yeah.
No. But
Yeah.
the
Work anybody?
Colorado Springs.
And you see some of that same thing. Some of that Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
That
humor.
original. This is more like the original Fallout.
Original.
Where this is kind of like an action RTS RPG kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
So, it looks fun to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let me see if there's any of the other big trailers. Let's see. So, we got a new State of Decay, Heartland, and that's also going to be in Game Pass. So it's time to give.
This DLC looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And it looked a little bit more polished. And it's going back to the original city area from the first one. So it looks like you can choose these 3 different characters. Group couples, and they have their own story.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if it looks like this, I will admit that I unfortunately got really kind of turned off by it that first time we played, and that's and I will admit freely that is probably not fair to the game, because the game has probably gotten better since. Um, I'm willing to give it another shot. Probably not by myself. So if I know you're a big fan of this game, Chris. If you want to play it, I'll run it.
Yeah,
with
we'll make a day of it.
you. Well, I'll tell you what. So I'll be probably. I don't know what you're doing tomorrow night, but I'll be home by 9. I can put the wife to bed and we can.
I could probably do about maybe an hour or two at most.
Okay.
I still gotta go in. I'm gonna work Saturday too.
Are you really?
Get some more overtime. I know. We have so much work, and I've just been working so much. It's like
I hear you.
I got work, so okay, I'll go in.
All right.
But what's cool is that I can say, well, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna go in at 4:30, and get off at 10. So
all right. Well, so if we can, we can.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about this for a second, and we're gonna get to Bethesda and the rest of them in a minute because I do have trailers for everything. But I want to get to this for a second. I am this. Maybe it's just because I'm that 2D guy. Like I love, you know how much I enjoyed playing Raging Justice, and I'm excited for Sea of Thieves. Why are people mad about this?
I don't know.
This looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
This looks fun. This looks like I'm gonna have a great time with this game. And they took the big like driving scenes that Juan loves so much and turned them into 3D scenes, which look really cool. I don't understand why people are upset about this game. I don't know why. And it's coming in Game Pass, so if you don't like it, you only have to play it once. You don't have to buy it. So.
No, it looks cool. And I saw people on Twitter posting a realistic look of the Battletoads. I'm like,
oh, whatever.
Does everything have to be realistic?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know why. I honestly don't know why people had a problem with it. I don't.
But what about this?
So this is it looks really cool, and if it's got any kind of couch co-op, I know my son and I don't get a chance to play a lot with my kids, and I was thinking about this the other day too. My middle child, the one who has autism, he loves Minecraft, and he between that and Roblox. If this is something that was multiplayer with him, that I could play with him, couch co-op, this would finally be something.
It's like an RPG, right?
Yeah, it's an RPG, and this looks like something him and I could play.
Yeah.
I'm not a Minecraft guy. I'm not. I'm not a Roblox guy. I'm not a builder guy.
To me, it seems like this gives Minecraft a purpose.
Yeah. Well, story mode did too. The story mode.
Yeah, right.
There we go. 4-player local and online co-op. I'm all about this. I do think it's funny that trailer had Switch and PS4 in it, and that's so they were not. They know. So, but Game Pass again. It's coming into Game Pass, which means
Yep.
Game Pass is it is just the best deal ever.
My daughter, she was asking about for Minecraft, so I think that she's going to get into it, and I'll be playing that with her too.
Yeah.
So
here's Ninja Theory's game, and this is what they wanted to do.
Exactly.
It looks cool. You got some unique characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That one looked like the guy from what's that game? The Battle Royale game.
Fortnite?
No.
Not
the
Fortnite?
Apex.
Apex. Yeah.
Apex. Yeah. So what? And hey, it's coming to Game Pass.
I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah, if you don't like it, play it once and put it away. It's not my kind of game. Will I play it a little bit? Probably. Am I going to spend a lot of time on it? Probably not. But
Mike, then all my bits have to be downloaded, and that's against my quota. And
Yeah.
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 Okay, sorry.
That's all right. So I know this is a little out of order. Let me see if I think that's all the Microsoft stuff I had. So now what we're seeing are some Nintendo trailers. So moving on to the Nintendo. Nintendo is getting a new version of Super Lucky's Tale, which right now is just Switch.
Yeah, I think it's a temporary thing.
I'm sure it is, but it's nice to see. I mean, it's just I watched I watched my oldest play Super Lucky's Tale, and it's on my list. It's in Game Pass. I can play it whenever I want. It's on my list of things to play. I enjoyed watching him play it because it looked very fun. It looked like the kind of game I'm into, and so it's good. It's good to see Switch gamers get it. Switch Nintendo had a lot of good announcements at their direct. They have a lot. They still have a lot of momentum going into another good holiday season for them, and I think they finally have wiped off the stigma of the Wii and the Wii U rather. I think that they finally are back where they need to be, and the Switch has been very successful. Oh, we're back to Xbox. Oh, Ori!
I still don't know why, but
yeah, Ori.
Ori, this is so beautiful, and this is coming out in February.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't worry, Nintendo will be back in the dumps again next gen. They're gonna do it every other gen.
Switch,
Wii was
they're gonna make a Switch.
Came out big, and
yeah, they're gonna
Switch U.
Switch U.
Yeah, Switch U.
One day they're gonna end up making the wrong. They're gonna make up the wrong named the wrong name thing, and they're gonna call it the FU, and it's gonna be bad.
yeah.
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be totally unintentional, but it's gonna be bad. So, but Ori looks just so good.
Yeah. I'm surprised that the first Ori hasn't gone to Switch. Since they Cuphead's there and Super Lucky Tales, which they're not. It's not like it's their games, but they did publish them. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the first Ori on the Switch at some point.
So there's a wonder about that. So, we'll get to that. I don't know why Super Lucky Tale got in there like that, but when we get to Nintendo, I was not surprised that Nintendo and Microsoft were working on things because Microsoft said in their E3 schedule, make sure you're watching the Nintendo Direct. So we knew they were doing something. I just had wondered what they were getting in return for it, which doesn't look like much of anything. I haven't seen anything Nintendo coming to Direct.
I think it's, as far as in return, I think Xbox is getting financially.
Well, of course,
they're getting something out of it. Exposure to the Japanese market.
You think Nintendo's helping them talk to people? Because Square Enix sure hasn't moved.
No,
I mean, other than the couple of U.S. titles that like Western titles, Square Enix is still very firmly in Sony's camp. That's for sure. This is the last.
Well, here's the thing, if they at least they get good references from a Japanese company, like, hey, Microsoft is awesome to work with, blah blah blah. They delivered.
Yeah, but Square knows how Microsoft.
No, I know, but maybe they're going after different companies, that are more unknown.
True. So people marked out for this. By the way, this is the we are getting a sequel to Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. Yeah. So this is Breath of the Wild 2. So I don't know, Coop. I don't know where the Crossfire X hype is. I never heard of the game before that show. So,
Me neither.
yeah, this is Breath of the Wild was it spoke for itself, both quality wise and sales wise. So everybody kind of knew that a new Zelda was coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure why so soon though. Breath of the Wild was still selling incredibly well. Like at least here it never stopped charting. So Doomhammer says, "Did I miss the Stadia segment?" Yes, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but don't expect Breath of the Wild 2 anytime soon either.
Oh no, that's a holiday 2020.
The first Breath of the Wild was supposed to become released on the Wii U. It didn't, right? By itself. They delayed it for the Switch. And so who knows how long this will take?
That's at least holiday 2020, if not spring 2021. And they'll as long as Breath of the Wild continues to sell, they'll take their sweet time.
Yeah.
So
I won't expect it for a couple of years.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what in the world this was. This was a kind of a me kind of game. This is
Animal Crossing.
Yeah, like is it this? Well, this is Nook Incorporated. So I don't think this was the Animal. Well, maybe it is the Animal Crossing.
No, it is Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it is. So it kind of reminds me of what was that game for the mobile where you talked to people and answered questions and whatnot? What the hell was that?
Oh, that was
the original mobile game Nintendo put out. So.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Now, this game has been out for a while. I mean, it was out. I think it first came out on GameCube.
Animal Crossing? Oh, yeah, Animal Crossing.
It goes way back, and
it does go way back.
I played it years ago. I played it with my daughter, my oldest. So she's looking forward to this.
Yeah, it came out on the 3DS and the GameCube. So.
Yeah, Coop might be right. Because they already have saying that Breath of the Wild 2 ain't starting from scratch. So, yeah, I mean, they have the assets from the first one. So.
True.
Yeah.
True.
It could come out next year. So, who knows?
So, I wish...
It's a standalone DLC.
Yeah. It's a shame that Sean wasn't free tonight. We asked him to come on. Now, I'm marked out for this. You guys know I'm a big Sega guy. So, I was hoping that this would be also a full console PS4 and Xbox game, but this being remade. So for those who don't know, who aren't as old as I am, this is Panzer Dragoon from one of the top Sega Saturn games, and honestly, one of Sega's best games of basically their franchise. I mean, Panzer Dragoon is such an iconic franchise, and man, to have it remade and the Switch. If my wife and I get Seth a Switch for his straight A graduation from 4th grade there, which it was either that or an arcade 1-up Pac-Man machine. If he gets a Switch, I'm gonna low key get Panzer Dragoon remake. So, by the way, speaking of, let me pause this for a second. Speaking of arcade 1-up, did you guys see what they're coming out with this November? Oh my!
And it will be in my room.
That one I might have to put some money away for. So if you guys had not heard, they announced at E3 that they are bringing out the only fully licensed, truly licensed, arcade original versions of Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi with the authentic yoke from the arcade. Holy crap. And that overshadowed the announcements that they made that they're bringing out a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and Turtles in Time arcade board. And what was the other one? There was another one that they announced. Oh crap! Hold on, I'm looking it up. But there was
if Jago was here, he would know.
Yeah, if Jago was here, he would know. I'm sure Jeff knows. Jeff's looking it up for me too while I'm trying to look it up. Let me hit Bing because I get my Bing points for that too. Oh, Marvel. That's right. It's Marvel versus Capcom. So you get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one is the original arcade, and then Turtles in Time. And then the second one, the Marvel one, is Marvel Superheroes, X-Men: Children of the Atom, and Punisher. So that one's going to be $2.99. The Turtles one is going to be $3.49. So a little bit more. But
what about the Star Wars?
The Star Wars one, they did not give a price for just yet, but they said it was going to be very competitively priced. Against what, I don't know, but but yeah, I mean, it even had the classic controller, that yoke from the arcade. I was like, I've got band gigs coming. I'm just gonna take like $40 or $50 from each band gig and just kind of put it aside and be done.
And you know what? That Game Pass is going to help you save that money too.
And by the way, so they're going to be more expensive than the cabinets, but Arcade 1-Up is also going to be bringing out cocktail tables. So they had one that they're starting out with that's going to be $500 that has Street Fighter 2, Final Fight, Darkstalkers, and then a head-to-head table that's going to have Pac-Man, Galaga, and Dig Dug. So those are coming out later this year as well. So I'm but the arcade, the Star Wars one, I mean, Star Wars was so good. Like it was like the iconic one. Empire Strikes Back. I remember Empire Strikes Back only because it had the asteroid belt, the asteroid field, and going after the AT-ATs. And then Return of the Jedi was just a totally different game from the first two. And you had that, it was like that isometric 3D where you're doing the land speeder, not the land speeder, you're doing the speeder bike, and then you're doing you have to fly the Millennium Falcon into the Death Star, and I mean, yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Sorry. I had to stop the show for that. So, continuing to move on with Nintendo. This game, let's see. Oh, so I'm sorry. This is coming from Ubisoft. Ubisoft's conference was, I'll be honest with you, kind of boring. I couldn't follow much of it at all, and then they got into this esports nonsense, and that's when it turned me off. They started to do they were doing Rainbow Six or some nonsense esports, and it was like celebrity esports. It was not good. So anyway, God and Monsters is one of the new games from Ubisoft. So going back to the Switch. Sorry, guys, they're just out of order. Luigi's Mansion, which looks really good. Looks much better than the Wii versions. I mean, look at Luigi; it looks great.
Yeah.
And I know Luigi's Mansion is a very popular game. Very, very popular. So, what else did I have here? So. Yes, the dog at the Ubisoft conference.
Oh, yeah.
So.
You may never leave. You want to leave.
You want to leave. So, what else have we got here? I don't want to right, let's see what else we got.
So Luigi's gonna be. Is there a Pokemon game coming out?
There, yeah, of course. It's like red versus red, green, blue, orange, purple.
Those would be the two big games.
Yeah.
The holiday.
Yeah. So now you get to slam them on the ground. Oh. Hulk style. Man.
Ghostbuster Luigi.
Yeah. Puny God. And then a suction shot. Dang. Yeah, Luigi's got some moves on him. Luigi Mortal Kombat, man.
Where'd you get the moves?
Yeah. All right, so then there was, let's see what else we got. Oh, same one. Sorry. What else we got here? Hey, what's it doing?
Yeah, Luigi's that's all they showed.
Yeah.
Luigi's mentioned. Is I'm back.
Oh, here we go. Little bit of Doom. So we can move off to Bethesda. So Bethesda's conference was kind of annoying, if I'm being honest, because you got the one guy. You had one guy who they paid the whole front row to clap or something. Witty. They paid the whole front row, or they work for Bethesda, one of the two. I'm sorry, Pete. Not that you ever listened to our show, but if you ever did listen to this show, you got to do better than that next year, man. If it's okay. Look, Doom. I'm excited for Doom. Doom is, I'm old, so the franchise speaks to me. But every time someone spoke and that guy goes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And now we're going to talk.
Excessive.
Right now we're going to talk about this mobile game. Yeah. No, come on, stop. So, but this right here. Yes. Witty, he might have a Twitter account and be a mega fan, but I'm telling you, he was coached. That was because there were too many other people in that crowd that were cheering for stuff that they shouldn't have been cheering for. So, but
Well, maybe he got a custom Fallout 76
there
duffel
you
bag.
go. He had the Pip-Boy on and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But this, Doom is, Doom. And this is November, man. This is freaking November. And they're going to put this on the Switch. Figure that one. No. Let's see. What is this one? So this was one of the new IPs that Bethesda was working on. This was at Ghostlight Tokyo. This was more of a I couldn't tell. Peter, could you tell it? Was this a live action or was this CGI?
I think it's a mixed, that mixed jazz.
Yeah, because you and I were trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. I was like, man, this looks pretty good for live action. And if it's actual CGI, it looks incredible. So this looks like something that could be very, very cool. And there's another dog. So, look, from a gaming perspective, there's not a whole lot I'm interested in Bethesda anymore. There's about 4 games. There's this, which I am interested in. There's, of course, Wolfenstein, which is coming out shortly. When does Youngblood hit, Peter?
I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought you...
I don't have the...
Oh, hold on. I thought you knew because you had pre-ordered it. I thought you pre-ordered it.
No, I ordered the one with the VR one.
Oh, right. All right, Youngblood comes out July 26th.
Oh, okay. That's soon.
Yeah, that's very soon. This is, of course, a 2020 game. I think we know that. Ghostwire Tokyo. This does look really good.
Yeah, whoever came out on stage, I saw a lot of praise for her.
Oh yeah, she was because she was like really, truly enthusiastic and very cute.
Uh-huh.
So this was one of my disappointments, not because of what they showed. So this is, if you did not see, if you didn't understand, Commander Keen. And Peter, you and I know Commander Keen.
Yes.
Commander Keen was the prelude to Duke Nukem, which then was the prelude to the 3D Duke Nukem. And so all I could think of was, we're going to get a new Commander Keen? And then they gave us the... Then they dropped the hammer on us. And this is going to be a mobile game. I mean...
Yeah.
Right. Ugh. So,
well, sir, maybe it'd be on Game Pass, and you can play it on your xCloud on your phone.
No, it's going to be. It's an actual mobile game. I'm gonna have to buy it out of the Android store. And this is funny because it's Commander Keen's kids, so it's the next gen. Yes, coming soon to your mobile phone. So I was like, yay! And then I went, oh. But that guy was still yelling, yeah!
Yeah.
So.
We didn't quite understand it. It was mobile.
Yeah. No. So this was the other kind of new IP that Bethesda's working on. Was it Deadloop? Deadloop? Not Deadloop. Shoot. We'll see in a second. Yeah, Deathloop. Sorry, Deathloop, not Deadloop. Deathloop. This looked pretty crazy too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and this also has a nice. This looks like a single player game to me, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like it. Actually, that's good. I mean.
Yeah, and it's Arcade Studios too, so it's the folks that did Dishonored. So that should make Frankie happy.
Yeah, and I believe the guy from Arcane, they did say that was this last Dishonored might have been their last one, or at least for now. So.
Well, if they do this, I mean, look how cool this looks.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's cool. They're bringing something new.
Yeah.
See, everybody. Hey, look, everybody. You didn't get something new announced from Xbox this year. That's fine. You got other games, you got a third party to kind of fill that in for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And PlayStation fans that were upset that they didn't even show up to E3, you don't have to worry. You've got this coming.
They got plenty of games.
Yeah. Shit, the whole Square Enix conference was dedicated to you.
Yeah.
So.
And Death Stranding, which who would have thought?
Right.
That was coming out this year.
No, yeah. All right, here it is. Do you want me to turn the sound up? Does everybody want? I can. Because here it is again. In case you missed. I didn't get the Keanu Reeves part, but this is just the. No. This game. I mean, it doesn't matter. This game is gonna be. This game is gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this kind of sci-fi.
Yeah.
Kind of futuristic.
This is you know what this reminds me of, and it took me. No, Frankie, you're breathtaking.
You made it. You blowing up all over.
What this reminds me of is an amped up Deus Ex.
You got the chip.
You know, that augmented.
All right.
Yeah.
You build your own human kind of thing. But to the next level. And that's not throwing shade at Deus Ex. Deus Ex is a great series, but this just looks like it breaks that in half. Yeah, there you go. Deus Ex meets Syndicate. That's a good one. And for a brief second, I almost thought Jake Gyllenhaal, but it's not, of course. But
yeah. Yeah, huge surprise that Keanu Reeves was in it.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought that?
No, nobody thought. And I love how Keanu Reeves. Now I don't have that footage, but I love how he comes out and he basically has no idea what a video game is. Like he doesn't the only thing he knows is he got paid to come out on stage and say cyberpunk. I mean, so he pretty much admitted, I don't know anything about this, but it sounds cool. So what the hell? Let me do it. Well,
Jago.
Hey, Jago. No, you're amazing. You're amazing. So, good night, Siberia. Yeah, I got to get up too, but you know what? This is my time to talk with my boys. So, oh. Yeah, he took a shot. Protect the innocent. So, I mean, and I know this is...
Yeah, this looks really good, and the thing that goes through my head is like, how much will be downgraded?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, what last year they showed Metro Exodus on a PC, but that was similar to the. Was it last year or the year?
Metro Exodus was last year. Ah, yes. Thank you, Frankie. I still got to finish watching John Wick 2.
Yeah, it is.
So.
Yeah, and the other day, me and the wife went and saw Godzilla. That's awesome too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm excited for this game. That looked cool too.
Yeah.
You just hacked them and said that you ain't using your weapons. They're built in. And you still got her, but.
Yeah. No, this was not running on a Pro. This was running on a PC, dude.
Yeah, but it's running on the PC that's supposed to be similar to, I guess, either the X or it's going to be similar to the Scarlet. Nah, probably the X, because it's coming out before Scarlet does.
Yeah.
So. But I mean, I'm sure it's going to be, enhanced, Scarlet enhanced, whatever the next Xbox is going to be called. So we'll be getting a lot of those. Yeah.
I can wait till April. There's plenty of other stuff to play.
Yep.
So. Oh, here it is, Peter. Here it is. Here's our game. I knew I had to grab it late, but here it is. I think this is the last of my trailers that I grabbed. Microsoft Flight Simulator. You darn right I marked out for this. And look how beautiful it is.
It was hard to tell if this was a game.
Right? And I missed it. I missed it at the beginning, but when we were first looking at it, I didn't realize that this is coming out on the Xbox. I thought it was just PC only. And then shout out to both Jeff and John Meadows from Gamers Lounge, who said, who went back and checked the back of the trailer and said, nope, it's coming to Xbox too. Because I saw a tweet from Xbox Game Pass about how this is going to be in Game Pass on console. And I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss that? Sure enough, I did. But look how beautiful this game is. And you're going to be able to fly all kinds of, jumbo jets and Cessnas and, the fixed wing and... Yeah, I mean, that's just gorgeous. I don't care who you are. That's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So...
And that made me look into it because I knew it was like, for the longest time, I was like licensed by, crap, now I forgot the name.
Oh, right, I know who you're talking about, yeah.
And so then I looked into it, it's like, oh, they got the, a lot of companies stopped making it. I guess maybe the license didn't get extended, who knows what. Yeah. And now it's back to Microsoft again.
Yep.
They're making the games, so
yeah.
Fantastic news.
I know. I was very happy. And I'm all over that. So
yeah, I agree with you, Coop. Hopefully it's not a microtransaction trap.
I don't
If you want this airplane.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Who knows? I don't know. Well, yeah. So some of the other things I didn't get all the rest of
Just
the
chill. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
That's it.
I didn't get all the rest of the stuff, but I did want to show two more things. We'll talk about. Number one was Uplay from Ubisoft. So Ubisoft has decided to dip into the subscription stuff as well, and I kind of thought they would be the next one to do it. What disappointed me was it's PC only. So UBI's Uplay Plus is actually going to be compatible with Stadia. So they're going to stream that through Stadia. And that's huge for Google. Very huge.
Yeah.
So Uplay is coming with more than 100 games. But it's PC. They're not going to do console,
Yeah.
which I thought was really sad. Yes, you're right. You have to pay for both. You have to have the Stadia subscription and the Uplay subscription.
Well, maybe they are gonna look at just working with Xbox and Sony, for Game Pass and PSN, and putting their games on the consoles on those, and they'll still make money off of that too. So
Right. Yeah,
Sure.
I think for the consoles they have less games than they have on PC though.
yeah,
That could be part of it
That
as well.
could be, but I would absolutely have paid an EA Access style subscription cost for that, like a $30 or $40 a year. I'd have paid that to get Rainbow Six and all that stuff. Plus, EA was going in their back catalog for things for Xbox 360 games and stuff like that, and who knows what they're going to do for the PlayStation. Hopefully they get maybe they remake some of their old games on that side. So I was just disappointed that they did not consider a console.
yeah.
Yeah.
So some of Ubisoft's other big announcements that they made, of course, Watch Dogs Legion, which yeah, so that one,
The more I see about it, the more I want it.
yeah.
And in the
I'm-
beginning,
I'm
when
definitely getting it.
when it was just announced, it's like no, don't want to touch it with a 6-foot pole. But now it's like, man, it's actually
Yeah.
looking pretty good.
Yeah. So, it allows
Did
you
they-
to, well, that you can play as anyone. So
Yeah.
you can play as NPCs.
But it's permadeath, right?
It's
Yeah.
Yes. Which is but I guess
If you can play as anyone,
yeah. So then maybe before you finish dying, you can switch to somebody else and continue to live.
Yeah.
So
Did they give a release window?
March 2020. So March 20th on
March.
2020. They gave
That's
it
when around Cyberpunk comes around that time. The week before.
Cyberpunk comes in April.
Was it April? Oh.
Yep, Cyberpunk comes right the month after.
Okay, then that's okay. Okay,
So
gives me time to try
March 20th.
that. Yeah.
So and then
Man, next year
yeah.
already.
Oh, I know. I mean,
Last of Us 2 in February, right? So
is that when they called it? I
yeah,
I
so.
missed that. Okay. So that and Ori and the Will o' the Wisps are both coming in February. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh. So then they also announced Rainbow Six Quarantine, which is a PvE Siege spinoff, which I could get into. It's a
PvE.
yeah, it's three.
Okay.
It's a 3-player tactical co-op. So kind of reminds me. I don't know. If you guys remember playing Rainbow Six Vegas?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So remember the PvE modes in that?
Yeah.
You had the co-op PvE. That's what this kind of sounds like. It's a 3-player tactical co-op game where you're going up against infected people and monsters. So it was basically apparently, and I missed this, and then uh, there was a quarantine event for Siege, and that became the standalone. That became the this standalone game. So that comes out. They talked about there was another game, Roller Champions, which was a kind of a roller derby game, basically.
It's gonna be like a Rocket League type.
Yeah, like that, but roller derby. It could be decent.
So you can customize your character.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Roller skating Rocket League.
Yeah.
So, then they showed off, we did show the trailer for God and Monsters, open world action game, and that comes out in February. They did talk a little bit more about Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and that's coming out in October. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
and then they got into the esports thing, and that's just where they lost me. So, and no new. Come to think of it, I don't think we saw any new footage for their, what was it, Skull and Bones or Skull? What was the?
Yes.
Yeah,
Skull and Bones.
Yeah, they did not.
Well, it was delayed.
It was delayed, but they didn't show any footage of it.
Yeah.
So,
Beyond Good and Evil 2 also.
Yeah,
they weren't planning on.
Yeah, I didn't think they were ready to show that yet.
They kind of showed a little bit last year. I think they've been I think not too long ago they showed something on Twitch. Like they showed a stream of some gameplay. But yeah, they weren't going to show it at E3 though.
No. So that that was the Ubisoft conference, and it was meh. And then Square Enix went Monday night, and so a couple of things from there that were, I don't know, that it was kind of odd. So Final Fantasy VII Remake finally gets a look, and it's going to be 2 parts. So they're going to do the first one comes out March 3rd, and then they showed a new trailer for it, and then basically they said the whole remake would take up basically the equivalent of 2 Blu-ray discs. So they're going to do, they've made some changes to a hybrid combat system, some other things like that. Then they showed off Final Fantasy XIV Online, Shadowbringers, which is an expansion pack that's coming out in July. Dragon Quest Builders 2, which was coming out for, I think it was coming out for at least PlayStation 4 and I think Switch. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which we had heard about last year. They were also getting The Last Remnant remastered. Xbox was getting left out of that one. War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, Outriders. Now, a couple of Romancing Saga games, which they're bringing back. Romancing Saga 3, which is coming out for the PS4, Vita, of all things, Switch, Steam, and Xbox One. And then Scarlet Grace Ambitions, which is PS4 and Steam and Switch. And then they showed off, of course, the game everybody had been waiting for, which is Marvel Avengers. I should have grabbed the trailer for that, and I don't know why I didn't. Some people liked it, some people didn't. It's coming out May 15th, 2020. It's PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Stadia. So Stadia is getting it. PS4 owners are going to get an early access beta and something else that they didn't announce. My guess it's going to be Spider-Man as a playable character. So some people liked it, some people were not terribly enthused about it. I'm kind of benevolent. I want to see more. All we got to really see was a CGI trailer. So I'd like to see a little more gameplay. It is a single and multiplayer game though, so it's one of those kind of hybrid games. So, and then that kind of led into Nintendo, which we saw and talked about, and then the show floor. So I want to we'll save the show floor. It's already 11:20, so we're getting on that 2-hour mark. Next week, if he's still coming on, and I'll confirm with him. Ainsley Bowden from Seasoned Gaming is coming on. He's been hitting the show floor all week long, and I'm looking really forward to. I know there was some gameplay in there, but it wasn't. It wasn't what I was. I want to see more. Anyway, he's going to be coming on, and he's going to talk. We'll talk to him about what was going on the show floor and some other announcements that the companies made, and kind of what his impressions of E3 were. So overall show wise, with the conferences, just looking at the conferences, give me your kind of wrapped up kind of thoughts on the whole set of conferences that you were able to see.
I think it was pretty good. I don't care too much about the mobile, so each time it's like, what you said, Commander Keen, and it's like, mobile, it's so disappointing. It's like, but it's gaming. It's just not our cup of tea.
Right. Mobile, that's unfortunately.
It's it's here.
Yeah, it is.
They want to make money off of it.
Yeah. Overall, I think it was pretty good. Microsoft was pretty good. It's very dense, though. I mean, what Phil said at the beginning is like, we let the games speak for themselves. So it's like, like back to back, they showed stuff. Which, I don't know. The older I get, the more spacing I need, I guess, to digest what was really shown, So at least we can, watch it again and at your own pace, and that was good stuff. Nintendo, that's also pretty good. Most of the games they just don't interest me. So. And
you have a Switch.
I have a Switch. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have buying remorse. It's not really, but I don't know. I could have spent it on some other stuff, I guess. It's all right. Especially once we can start streaming like your Xbox stuff to it, that will be kind of cool. At least you have some, actual physical buttons, better than just on mobile or putting your mobile on top of a controller.
So you still think it's coming, huh? You still think
Oh yeah.
Still think?
I think so.
Okay. I'm not sure, but Microsoft needs to get something back from Nintendo. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's xCloud coming to Switch.
Yeah, I think so. But in EA you have the usual suspect games, and your yearly roster changes. Plus new features. But yeah, overall it was a pretty decent to good E3. A lot of games.
Okay.
Games is good.
Games is always good. Chris?
Well, I mainly watched. EA, if you can call it a show. It's all about Fallen Jedi for me. So right. I have that pre-ordered.
You know what? While we are talking. Sorry, I'm going to.
Yeah.
I do have it. I did find it. So keep talking. But while we're
you're gonna show the.
I'll show the Fallen Jedi Order.
Yeah.
Jedi Fallen Order trailer.
All right.
So,
cool.
All right, go ahead. See, come.
As far as the Xbox, no, I'm very happy with a lot of the announcements, especially the games that are going to be in Game Pass. So there's definitely a few games there that I'm interested in, and we'll play. And I did sign up for the Ultimate, so. And then we were talking earlier that with the Lego on the Forza Horizon 4, if you had Ultimate, that's free. Gears 5, you get to play that a week, or 4 days early, if you have Ultimate.
Yeah.
So I look forward to that.
I'm gonna go try to download Lego when we're done.
Yeah.
It's
really
I'm
good.
downloading it right now too. So, yeah, I mean, look, we didn't get everything from Xbox revealed from the other studios, but I'm okay. I saw plenty there that'll keep me busy. And then you look at Bethesda, Wolfenstein, and Doom, and that new one, which I just saw the gameplay while I was on here. The one from the horror one, I guess. Is that the Japanese one? Yeah, look, Tokyo.
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
Yeah, that one looked interesting. So, and then the other one that's made by Arcane, Deathloop.
Deathloop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's right, Frankie Doom.
I didn't watch that conference, but just seeing they're showing games that okay, this is interesting. So I look forward to that. Nintendo, definitely Luigi Mansion. I'm interested in that. It's something that I can play. My daughter can play it. My oldest will probably be into it. But other than that, I mean, I'll look to see what comes out. I'm not big on Pokemon.
Yeah.
The Square Enix, I need to watch that. I mean, the Avengers sounds interesting, but some of the pictures that I saw and so on, that didn't look all that great. But I got to see gameplay.
Sure.
I'm not Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, I've never really been into that. I know that's big for others, but I need to go back and watch that and see if there's anything else. But now, and of course, Ubisoft is my favorite. So definitely going to be playing the Ghost Recon new one coming out here in October.
Yeah, Breakpoint.
Definitely Watch Dogs. Definitely excited for that. I enjoyed the first two. So, like I said in chat earlier, I think we'll be able to play in London. We'll be able to play as Witty and Daz. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
So we saw those two, and y'all said they showed a new game, right?
Who did?
Was it Ubisoft that showed a new one?
Well, Gods and Monsters.
Gods and Monsters. What was that about?
It was like an open world, like Greek mythology kind of game.
Okay, well, I have to check that one out. But I mean, lots of games coming from a lot of these guys. I still need to go and look to see what Digital Devolver. I wonder if Frankie in chat if he saw anything from Digital Devolver that excited him. But there's tons of games from all these studios and publishers. Really, I can't complain. Really can't. And then we know Xbox is going to XO 19
in London.
Yep. So that's cool. But they didn't mention anything about Gamescom. I'm sure they'll be there.
Yeah, but they didn't.
But they didn't mention.
They didn't do a press conference at Gamescom last year. See,
no, they won't do a press conference, but I'm sure they're going to show the same stuff that they showed already, and they're going to sell Game Pass. And the past couple of years, everybody's like, well, maybe they're going to show this or that, and I wouldn't expect it, but
yeah.
But I won't be surprised if XO 19, that Playground and Rare tease something, because that's that's their hometown,
Right.
home country. So we'll see.
Okay.
But nah, E3 looked exciting. I tried to go back and I listened to a couple interviews. I listened to Phil's interview with the Giant Bomb, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
pretty good.
That's a good one.
I
And
didn't hear it yet.
I need to listen
Alright.
to the panel. There was a panel, right, on Inside. Was it Larry? I think there was a panel, Xbox panel. There's some more stuff there, but I enjoyed seeing the XCloud demos and talk,
Yeah.
and a lot of the guys that are out there playing this on the floor, they're very excited. They said it looks great.
Yep, and we'll get a good look at it. Now, one thing that was mentioned in the conferences, since tonight was more talking about the conferences, was that
okay.
there. Well, I'm not trying to cut you off. You could, well, whatever.
No.
The xCloud. There's two pieces of it. So there's the xCloud that's in their Azure data centers, but then there is the ability for you to make your Xbox a server for streaming, and make no mistake, Sony did that first. The PlayStation app, and there's a video on our channel, on the YouTube channel, where I demoed the remote play, but what they didn't remote play to were phones. Just your cell phone or a tablet or something like that. You had to basically either go to your Vita or a PC. So where this is going to be a little different is the streaming will be able to go to your phone, a tablet, something like that. So that's the enhancement there.
But you could be out of the house, right?
You could be out of the house.
So your Xbox is a server that'll provide the xCloud for you anywhere you go, right?
Right. And you could be out of the house with, like I said, with remote play on the PS4, but it
okay.
was only limited to a couple of things.
Yeah.
But this will be, your entire keep in mind too that I'm mostly digital for this, so keeping the Xbox on and getting to my digital library is going to be great.
Yeah, and they're not charging you for that.
No, that they're not charging you
extra.
for. So
Yeah.
we'll end up likely. We'll find out soon what the charge will be for xCloud. Although I think if I heard somebody correctly, that in that Giant Bomb interview, Phil said it makes sense to make it part of Game Pass. So maybe they make it part of Game Pass Ultimate, and if you don't have Game Pass Ultimate, then it's a charge of whatever. What do you think?
Yeah, because that's what they're
I think
doing
you're
with
right.
PC.
Yeah.
If you didn't have Ultimate, you would have to pay for the PC Game Pass.
Right.
So, and of course, and I had mentioned it in the tweet that. So there'll be gamers like us who have the console, we can play the games we already have in our library through, right? But there are going to be gamers out there who don't have a console, but they see these games. Hey, I can play this on mobile. Well, they're going to have to create an Xbox Live account and pay for that xCloud service, and they have that choice. They can either buy the game, and it'll be part of their library through xCloud, or I'm sure there's going to be some kind of Game Pass for mobile too.
Oh, well,
And it'll probably have some, mobile games. Because weren't they working with some mobile developer? So
yeah.
they're out
Game Loft.
yeah. So don't be surprised if some of those games are going to be in Game Pass for mobile. So
Well, we'll see.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah. Well, So my take is this. Yeah, and I, you know, this used to be the big showcase, and I still think that every one of these folks could have done their shows somewhere else. So Phil also said that he thought that Sony not being here, puts the show's kind of relevance in question, not in question, but in jeopardy. That he thinks that Sony should be, he wants Sony to come back to the show next year. I think that, Microsoft's conference, and to be honest, all the conferences could have been done at their own fan events. The allure of the show floor is something different, but you can get that at PAX. So I think that the reason I feel the continued underwhelming of this is because I think people are just pulling away from it. No, Doom, I don't want to get rid of it. It's just, unfortunately, it's not what it used to be. And that's, it's basically not, it's not what I grew up with, I guess, growing up, if you want to call it that, in my 20s. It's just not what it's not what it used to be. And EA knows it. I think Microsoft is figuring it out. Nintendo sure knows it. There's no Activision there again. There was absolutely nothing on Call of Duty at E3. Nothing. They announced their own stuff before the show. Google Stadia, they didn't need to be there. They had their whole announcement thing before the show. That never used to happen. It used to be that you waited until the biggest that was cool. The biggest media show ever to do your thing, and it's just not that way anymore. And Google, to announce their big streaming thing, didn't need E3 for it. And in fact, they weren't even there. So I just continue to question the current relevance of it. All that said, I'm with everybody else that if, like I said, if you are emotionally invested in gaming and in games,
yeah,
you took away a lot from here. I mean, I don't know how, without Game Pass, I would just give up, because I just wouldn't have money to play anything.
Right, you just have to pick it. You won't be able to buy as many games.
Right. But now I don't have to pick and choose, because most everything most everything I want to play is going to be in Game Pass, and then some of the third party games I can spend the money on. Mm-hmm. So I'm satisfied there. I was satisfied, and it's Phantasy Star and Flight Simulator, and knowing we're gonna get games like this that we're seeing on screen, and we still have Borderlands 3 and other stuff that really didn't get big reveals and stuff. I mean, Borderlands was part of the Xbox conference, but the Gearbox didn't have a big to do there. Knowing these games are coming, and knowing we're going to get a bunch of games in 2020 before any of the new system hits, I mean, it's a good time to be an actual gamer, and I'll put it that way. It's a good time to be able to enjoy games. That's how I feel. I'm just still having trouble with how E3 has become, and it could just look. I'm just sometimes I wonder if I've outgrown all the industry. Maybe not gaming itself, but maybe I've outgrown the industry. The industry's not the same, and I'm the one that's fallen behind, and that's my fault. I don't know. Yeah. I just know that this isn't what I'm used to, and it's not These are things that we could watch elsewhere. So that's all I was saying. Other than that, it was good for what we want as gamers. No doubt, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So
Yeah, and you're going off of what you were saying about E3, and we've talked about it. I think to me, I look at it that it has changed. It's not the same. Definitely not the same as what you and Sean saw when you went there. But to me, I think it's evolved through we're in the online social media world now all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these publishers, studios, they don't have to rely on EA to show their games because you can just stream it now, and depending on how well that goes, you can get as good a reaction and attention to it. So to me, E3 has evolved into a fan fest. Because wasn't it last year the first time they opened the floor and sold tickets to anybody just like they do PAX?
Mm-hmm.
So it's evolved. It's still people are still excited just to go to LA in the first place.
Yeah.
LA is still a big media market, right? I mean,
Yep.
it's not just gaming media. You still got other media, that's there because LA is a huge market to show off these games and get them, out to even to casuals. You probably won't read. They don't go on the gaming media site. So EA still is a big attraction for all kinds of people that normally wouldn't know anything about these games unless it's at EA. So, but I still think next year Sony's they're gonna be there big because PS5 is coming, the new Xbox, and it's gonna be a lot of new games being shown, launch games, whatever. Everybody wants to show off the new games on the new toys. So we'll see. I mean, the thing like Xbox is still going to use the Microsoft Studio, so they enjoy using their own space and not have to share the floor. So
definitely.
You're not going to see that anymore.
Yeah,
you're not going to see Xbox and Sony next to each other like that.
Right.
So
that's right.
Nintendo will probably never keep doing what they're doing, and
yeah, it's just different, and I just don't know. I don't know. We'll keep. It'll always be a good topic of discussion when this time rolls around. That is for sure.
But you've seen some of these other publishers, like Digital Devolver, right? They had a press conference. You might start seeing some of these other smaller publishers come up and show off a little bit bigger next time around. So
perhaps,
perhaps, because that's kind of like how you see at PAX. That PAX is not so much about the big three and some of the big publishers. You see Digital Devolver and some of these other big indie publishers. They show big there. So
and that's what that's what I mean by this show is kind of losing its luster because these other shows have come up, and these other shows are the ones that seem to be a lot. They were the pioneers of the fan show. That's what PAX was a fan show.
Yeah.
It's E3 was the big media showcase. It's exactly what it's an expo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but they've seen that anymore. PAX has made a lot of money off of these fans, so now they want to get in on it.
Well, sure. So. Well, and they realize that again, you're not. Every guy with a cell phone is now he's now a journalist. He can now stream those games like in real time. Whereas in the old days, I had to take a camcorder, get somebody playing the game over the back of my shoulder, and
Yeah.
I had to come home and grab all that stuff off of tape and and write articles and stuff. And now you don't have to do that. You could just hear, hey, look, there's the latest Cyberpunk video. That just makes it a different show. It's just a
It
different
is.
thing.
I remember, back in the day, you would watch some of the, IGNs and so on, and you watch them to how they're setting up, right? They had the media section, and they had to plug in and get all their stuff working before the show started. And now, like Xbox and like Bethesda, what are they showing? They're showing the people, they're showing the fans out there yelling and screaming. And,
Yeah, the woohoo guy.
And they're the ones interacting with the media, the celebrities, And you look at the guys out in Fat Fest when they were doing the show. How many of those people were holding cameras or their phones?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
like
yeah.
you said, it's a new world. It's change. I'd be curious to see. I think next year E3 is going to be big, but after that, you might be right where it may not. It may start slowly.
I still have
Losing it.
a year or two left on my prediction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see. All right, boys. So, like I said, next week we'll have Ainsley on, hopefully, and we'll be able to talk a lot more about the E3 show floor and some of those other things. I'll watch the Phil interview and that way I know what I'm talking about with that. In the meantime, if you guys haven't got your Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, I think it's still $1. Get it while it's still $1, guys. And don't forget, which thanks to the heads up by Peter, and Nate, I didn't realize how long that stuff would go. They add your two subscriptions together. So if you have 6 months of Game Pass and 6 months of Xbox Live, they're going to combine those, and you're going to get a year of Ultimate. So, that's a hell of a deal. So Sony said that they were going to start pushing PS Now this year really heavy. They need to make a push with PS Now to bring the price down, and then I'm in. If I can get PS Now for $10 a month, I'll get it.
Yeah, they have to. There's no way.
I think isn't it on sale right now?
I don't know if it's on sale
For
or
a
not.
year though.
I don't know if it's completely on sale, but
Yeah.
if they want, I'm not a year guy. I pay by the month. If they could get that thing down to $10 a month for me, I'd be happy to get it.
Yeah, it needs to be $10
Yeah.
permanent.
So PS Now is $69.99 for a year.
But it needs to have the same thing, first party day and date.
And I think they're going to. They've seen that writing on the wall. I think that is a.
You think they're going to?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not counting on it.
I think they are. I think they know. See,
I mean, not like Microsoft day one. I don't think so.
you don't think so?
They might
No.
wait, like,
Maybe they wait 3 months or so.
yeah, every 3 months, yeah.
They're not gonna put it straight in there.
Because their big first party games sell big in the first couple months, and then
They do, but I
then
don't.
people move on to the next. But
Yeah, but I think they want those dollars too. I think they want those subscription dollars, and I don't know that they're getting it. We heard this week that Game Pass subscriptions went flying this week, and I'll put it this way: if people will buy the Xbox Game Pass for PC, then I think Sony would go after that money. they certainly want to. They certainly want to match them in other areas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they wouldn't. I don't know why they wouldn't do that with PS Now.
Yeah, they need to, because if they want to get in on have PS Now on PC, if they want to have it on mobile, because if they're going to use xCloud, I mean, you can use Azure services, so if they can do that, they have to be able to attract people to subscribe to PS Now. So if they do the first party games in there, that's no brainer.
Yeah, and that would be an instant. That is when I would sign up. That is when I would absolutely sign up, and I'd be right there.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so I know that I know Jeff really liked the show this year, and I don't want people to think I didn't like what I saw. I was just there were things that disappointed me. And by the way, one of the last things that I'll bring up is, and I know I got pushback from people on this, but I'm sorry. The fact that they pretty much have they brought out one more batch of backward compatible games, and that's it. So the next they're switching over to try to make everything work on the Scarlet, but they said there will be no more backward compatible games coming to the Xbox One, and that actually disappointed me, because they left a lot of games on the table that should be backward compatible, and all I could think of is I still have my OG Xbox and I still have my Xbox 360, and I'm glad that I do, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to play Rally Sport Challenge, Max Payne, any of the XSN stuff, Amped, any of the good Microsoft games that came out in those, Midtown Madness, stuff like that. It's the only way I'm going to be able to play it. So, that was disappointing. So Frankie, we're not at the end of a generation, though. We're at the end of the refresh. We're into the new refresh. We're not at the end of a gen. That's just it. We're not. This whole generation thing, I think, is done. We're just going into cell phones now. And it needs to be a stellar year for, Sony said outright that the PS4 is going to be their revenue stream for the next 3 to 4 years, which is why Death Stranding, Last of Us 2, and their other big hitters are going to be on the PS4. Microsoft needs to understand that too. They cannot just move on to Scarlet and tell all the Xbox One fans, sorry, but thanks for spending $1,000 on our hardware. Go suck an egg while we sell Scarlet. And that's why Halo Infinite is going to come out on the Xbox One, because it's all going to scale back. But no, they can't They can't do that. If they do that, the Xbox fan base is going to mutiny on them, because a lot of them bought the Xbox One, and then Phil came out and said, "Hey, we're sorry about the Xbox One. Please buy the X." And they were both $500 consoles, and I did the same thing. And I bought the Xbox One for $500. And I bought the Xbox One X for $500. And now they're telling me, well, it's been 2 years, so next year go buy a Scarlet, because that's that's where the only place you're going to be able to play your games. No, I'll tell you right now, if that's the real case, then I hate to say it, but I might be done. I might end up just building a PC if that's going to be the case. If I'm going to spend that much money, nah. I can't afford another console next year. I can't. So they need to support this Xbox One X that they just got me to buy.
Yeah. Now, if you listen to the couple interviews that Phil have, he's not abandoning the Xbox One at all. So these games that are going to be developed, they're going to still be able to scale down to those consoles.
That's what I'm
But of
expecting.
course, the best place. But you got to look at too. Game Pass is still going to be on Xbox One, so you'll still be able to play those games. And plus, if these Xboxes are capable of streaming, right? Let's say you get a bit later on to the next gen, and some of these games are really demanding, and the OG Xbox One really can't handle it itself. But what if you can stream that game through your OG Xbox One, and it'll still play well because it's being streamed from the cloud. So it doesn't matter how well your hardware is, right?
Yeah.
So they're not going to abandon anybody anytime soon. I would say it's going to be like the PS4. Give them another 3 years, and pretty much they're hoping that everybody's slowly adopt over to the new Scarlet, and I'm sure there'll be another refresh by then. So yeah, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm just
They
saying.
want your money. They want your money.
They want my money, but they can't have $500 every 2 years.
No, and you don't have to.
Well, that's what.
I just got the X last year myself, so.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to pull a Nate and do a nice trade-in deal. Who knows? We'll see. And just trade in X and get the new Scarlet. So we'll see when they announce all that and the price and see if it's worth it.
But it's also PC hardware. So it's not like we're going from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One. It's not like we're going from the PS3 to the PS4 where you have completely different architecture. And that's what I think,
True. That's why it's all still supported.
Yeah, these games have to come. These games have to scale down. If it's 8K,
just like PC.
Yeah, if it's 8K on the Xbox Scarlet, it's got to be 4K on the X. If it's whatever it is, one gets ray tracing, the other doesn't. And if you need ray tracing that bad, then okay. So but Coop, honoring your library going forward is one thing, but the library needs to support the previous gen when you're talking about this little time between them. The gen before, when we had Xbox One and PS3, it was a 10-year cycle before the next set of consoles came out. So I totally understand that. I totally understand that it's time to move on from that. But you just asked people to buy an Xbox One X last year. You cannot just say, well, Scarlet's where it's at, and sorry. So.
No, I think it's just another iteration. It's people's choice to jump on something more powerful. You know, they want to spend the money, go for it. You want to trade in I'm sure there'll be some nice trade-in deals. I don't know. I don't see a problem with that. I don't think no one's going to be held behind. And it's just a choice people can make.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
They can afford it or not. Save the money. But, but I mean, it is the next iteration, but it's still moving into the next gen where the focus is not going to be on Xbox One name. It's going to be on whatever the next, PS5 and whatever next console is called. That's all you're going to hear. But you're going to, they'll say, yep, still supported on Xbox One and PS4, but played best on the next consoles.
Well, of course.
Yeah. So, no, I don't think anybody's being abandoned. And with xCloud and streaming, nobody's going to lose anything.
Yeah, well, I hope you're right.
You'll be right, sir. I got you.
You were right about Metro Exodus.
Yeah.
So
I was wrong about New Dawn, but I guess because they wanted to put their games on PC, you play.
Yep.
So we'll see.
So, but Frankie, Phil also said just yesterday he doesn't care what system you buy. He doesn't care how many if you buy a console or not. He doesn't care which one you get. So that messaging is what Chris is saying. So
it doesn't. You can play the games that are coming out no matter what console you're on.
So
you can stream it, Game Pass it, whatever. PC it. I was going to bring up something else, but I can't remember. I'm old.
Yeah.
Too many games to think about.
So, and Doom, I think it's a mistake that they're doing that, but that's just me.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. That because we talked about it a little bit. I think they're stopping trying to adapt BC onto the Xbox One, and they're going to focus on doing that, bringing whatever they've already done on Xbox One forward onto the Scarlet, and then continue bringing BC games on board, whatever they can. You still got the issues of license and all that to deal with, but I don't think it's the end of BC. It'll still continue.
It's the video and the stuff that they talked about. It's probably not the end for the Scarlet, but it's the end, or it's at least the end of what they're doing. I don't think you're going to see any new games coming to BC. Everything you've got is going to go up to Scarlet, but I think they said pretty flat out, this is it. This is the last set of games you're getting. So that's what my problem was.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. I still think you'll be able to play them though through Game Pass somewhere or another.
Yeah, but they got to make them backward compatible, Game Pass or not.
Yeah.
They still have to make them backward compatible. They still have to put them in the wrapper and all that happy stuff that they did to make all the Xbox 360 games work. So, and look, those of you who bought an X thinking you were going to buy another console 2 years later, that's great. But that's just not realistic for most people. And it's certainly not realistic for me. So, anyhow, it is 12 o'clock. Do you gentlemen have anything else? Anything else for the evening?
Not really.
Nope. But
I have bummed out Peter.
You bring up legitimate concerns and questions for yourself, right? It's just a matter of time. We'll see what happens. But I think overall, with this E3, I think somebody had mentioned, we in a way we are at the end of this gen, and these guys are focused on what the next consoles are going to do. So we saw a lot of games come out and still supporting these consoles that we have currently, and everybody should be happy, be fine. Plenty to game.
Sounds
no concerns.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all supposed to be in bed by now.
Yeah.
That's all our bedtime. When you hear the stinging clock, hauling ass passing those Camaros down the drag strip 3 times in a row, it's bedtime. Ain't that right, Coop?
Oh my goodness. All right, well, that's going to be it for us then. So thank you guys in the chat room. As always, great chat. Love you guys, and you guys really help us out, and we love seeing what you type in and reacting to it, making you guys part of the show. Gentlemen, we're back to a regular rotation till next E3. So
till next E3.
Till next E3.
If there's going to be a next one. No, it's guaranteed.
I figure there's one more good one in them. So
Then that might be it.
then it might. We'll see.
I mean, a new hardware for another 2 years.
Yeah. So, and it's good to see everyone in the chat. Love you guys. Doom.
Yeah.
See, Doom was all up in there. Frankie got in there. I was hoping Frankie. I mean, if Frankie wasn't going to see John Wick, we'd have had him on, so he could talk. But
Jeff and Witty.
Yeah, everybody. All
Siberia.
of our Siberia.
Jago jumped in.
Yep. And of course,
Yeah,
Coop.
appreciate all you guys.
And thank you, Coop, for all your streaming. It's all great stuff. So we'll see you next week. I will reconfirm, but the plan is to have Ainsley Bowden from Season Gaming on next week. We'll confirm that up with him, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So everybody have a great weekend. Make it a gaming weekend, and we'll see you all soon.
Come on, guys.